again, thank you so much for being part of our soft launch. Like we've said a bajillion times, this is like our little baby. And we've really curated this academy based on not only our experience over the last 10 years combined, like diving into the world of entrepreneurship, but also taking feedback from all the women we've met over those years and really trying to help not only entrepreneurs like Anna Laura, but business career women like myself who want to run a business on the side of still doing their job. So you were like one of the perfect candidates as well, because you're working full time and growing this business as a virtual assistant. So the way we wanted to structure the call, we do have 30 minutes, is to have you talk first and tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, what you do, the why of your business, and then like general thoughts that you have about the academy. We'll go into some feedback, and then any questions that you have for us, we would be more than happy to answer. And Anna, if I missed anything too, let me know.
No problem. Okay. So like a quick background on, I guess, my journey to this. I've been working in the corporate world for about 7 years, pretty much hopping from job to job with staying in one for like 1 to 2 years, anywhere in between that time. Because I found myself kind of getting in environments that didn't have a growth structure. Or, you know, that typical, like, they didn't value me or they weren't invested in my growth or, you know, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So I've kind of always, for lack of a better phrase, kind of just throw some things out, you know, see what sticks to the wall kind of deal. So oh no. All right, we're good. Sorry, this window almost went black. So yeah, I've been searching for that like community. I never found that community piece at work, and I just never found that really like passion in what I'm doing. And I always had that idea like the next one or tomorrow or like, you know, if I just do this. So I found a community in the Professional Women's Roundtable networking group, and started attending a lot of their events, and then became close with some of the leaders there and actually got appointed for a board position in 2017, which I served 2 years on, which was great and such a fulfilling experience in so many directions. But kind of led me to realize that a few things, like one, if I wanted to find that community, it was probably up to me to make it on my own versus like step into a job and have it sort of handed to me. And then two, I realized there's actually a choice for me to do work that I like and take kind of my position as an executive secretary with that group and kind of translate it into doing something that I really love, which is helping other people grow and helping people reach their goals, and staying super organized. Just taking like all the skills that I've done, I guess, at every job I've ever had, but also at PWR, and getting those other elements that were super important to me, which are flexibility and freedom, really, just to keep it, you know, high level broad there. I know those are a little vague, but so I am currently as far as my day job, working in marketing and administration at a hospital, where I'm just going to be honest, I absolutely hate it. And I'm just like clinging to anything and any way that I can get away from this fast. So I took a mentorship program back in spring, to try and see if this VA thing would be for me and to kind of move forward on that. I had gotten a lot of feedback from people that I had interacted with through PWR and some other volunteer positions they were like, oh my gosh, why didn't you think of this earlier? Like, this is perfect for you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, absolutely, except for the fact that I don't know where to start, really, and I don't know what to offer, because at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to admit like what I'm really good at in translation to what other people need. So that being said, I did make all of the virtual assistant things, and I started offering very basic social media management and just administrative task support. So I've been doing that, and I have been struggling, one, to just balance that with a full-time job. My husband and I also own an investment property that we manage and play landlord to. So that's like another business going on.
Sure.
So, and I just have also found in this season to be trying to like taking on how to really get focused on managing my stress and not, spending time doing activities that like quote, manage my stress, but really aren't good and aren't productive. So it's been, thinking about the fact that it's close to the end of the year, I cannot believe that went that quickly. And I feel like this whole year, I've just been trying to, chase goal after goal as far as what do I really want, and what is going to look like, what will it look like if I left a full-time salary to do a full-time freelance gig where I make the rules, but I also have to, do the business accounting and pay taxes and, do all of the organization stuff in the background while I'm doing organization stuff in the background for other people. So that's kind of how I got here. I love the guides that you guys put together as far as really getting serious and niche on who you're talking to. I felt like, especially, so that's the creating your empathy map one. I'm looking at all these in front of me. I printed them.
Oh, awesome.
And I did exactly like what each of these sheets said and what you guys explained in the videos as far as like writing down fears. And like, honestly, I started doing this and I'm like, oh, this is me. Like, I'm talking to myself.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah, which is funny. Like that's exactly right. Like, but I'm almost talking to a version of me that's like, you still have kind of all the same fears and wants and desires, but you kind of have that piece where you're in business and you're unable to manage it on your own. So I think I forget. Hold on a second. Which one came next? No. Oh, the building. Sorry, I numbered them so I wouldn't forget. The first one, building your mission statement. I think I saw people posting in the Facebook group their mission statements, so I thought that was like a thing. And
correct, it was a thing.
Yeah, and I think one of you gave me some really great feedback about that. And I'm gonna just bring that up for a second.
I have it. We can just copy and paste it in the chat if you'd like.
Yeah. Oh, great. So I'll be honest, I already kind of had a mission statement before going into this. And I never really thought about a tagline. Just for reference, taglines are cool. When do you apply that? Like or is that just like something that's kind of quick and easy instead of spitting out your mission statement all the time?
Yeah, kind of both, or what you just said, as like can be a simplified version of your mission statement, that when you're talking to someone, incorporating your 30-second elevator pitch, right? Like, what do you do? Oh, well, or you can also put it all over your website. It can even be like Kale virtual assistant, tagline,
Oh, gotcha.
clearly who you serve. Also in your Instagram bio, like just as a quick blurb to let people know who exactly you serve, or what purpose you have. Like ours is connection, community, girl talk. I think we probably said that like a bunch in the video too, but just as a quick reference, like, well, what do you do? Oh, we provide connection, community, girl talk for female entrepreneurs and professional women. So instead of going into our like giant paragraph mission statement.
Yeah, it's also helped us to develop new ideas within our own business. Like the name of our newsletter, we were like, we hated the word newsletter. We're like, what should we call it? We're like, oh my gosh, let's call it Girl Talk. And it was part of our, tagline already. And thinking of where we want to go with our business, we're like, all right, well, we're about connection and community. How can we connect women? Let's start the academy. How can we serve the community? How can we have more events? In person, but bring that connection, community, girl talk online as well in the digital space. So I think it helps to give you clarity too, in terms of as you're developing and as your business is developing, kind of where you want to take it and the ideas that you can pull from from the mission statement to the tagline, kind of like to your daily content and daily actions and tasks.
Yeah, because you notice like with your to-do list, like, you being the to-do list queen, like you can incorporate that all over your social media too. Like to-do list Tuesdays, and here's like an organization, so it's just a way to like Alex said, kind of pull from your mission statement to the tagline and then to your actual like deliverable content.
Great. Okay, that's fantastic. That's like a very awesome visual like sequence for me. I think you brought up a good point in the feedback in asking who exactly is creative entrepreneurs, like getting a little more specific on that. So the reason I think I made it creative entrepreneurs because I didn't know, and this is probably a fear-based thing, that I didn't know if targeting just photographers or just graphic designers or just bloggers was smart. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking basically those main three groups that were just included in the creative entrepreneur little group, like, little head there. And I figured, I definitely am very geared towards women. Obviously, I would work with anybody. But I think that following up with girl bosses was a little bit more of a narrowed down, like, this message is definitely going to resonate with you the most.
No, and I think, like, as long as you're, like, solid on who a creative entrepreneur is, like, for you, like, that will then translate into your content. Like, if you didn't want to, like, super niche down into just photographers or, you were saying, like, as long as you're aware of who it is, I think that's, like, kind of what we were getting at. Like, you don't have to be, like, super, like, that niche, because I serve a similar audience, like creative entrepreneurs, women-owned businesses through photography. But I say a similar thing, like female entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? Like, so I totally get where you're coming from.
And I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit and play off of what Anna Laura said. If you did want to niche down even further, I think you could change your mission statement to serve graphic design, female photographers and graphic designers, and you can just serve those two communities within your mission statement and content. And casting kind of that net, you would also pick up bloggers and other entrepreneurs and women diving into the world of photography or women diving into the world of graphic design. So it's a way to really niche down and make sure that when you're posting, you're like, I'm going to post graphic design tips and organizational tips for photographers, or I'm going to post to-do list tips for these graphic designers in the office. And in the back of your mind, you're knowing, hey, I might pick up that girl who's just like me, who is in marketing and advertisement, but maybe wants to kind of get out of it and is looking to blog on the side, so
yeah.
So I hope that's not making confusing, but just to give
this is great. And again, do I get a copy of, sorry to just interrupt here, do I get a copy of this recording? Because this is like all great. And I'm like,
yeah, definitely.
I'm not writing any of this down.
I love it.
Definitely.
Yeah, going off that, Alex, just I know that there is a lot of fear whenever you're choosing a niche. Like, am I going to pick the wrong one? Am I going to be too specific? Like, I don't want to narrow down too much. I just want to say, like, from a very personal standpoint, when I went into photography, like I told my husband, I'm not doing weddings. I'm not, working with newborns. I rarely ever work with just families. I was like, I'm going to work with female entrepreneurs and business owners. And like, that's it. And I will say that is one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I get from a potential client when I'm on the phone is I really like that you just work with female entrepreneurs. Like you get the content that I want and that I'm seeking. Like you don't do a bunch of weddings and then this thing kind of on the side, So by just like going out and like working with that specific clientele, like you're actually gonna, find attract even more of that person, as long as you're talking to that person.
I guess it's like you said, like that fear of niching down is like, it sounds like when you're starting out, like you're limiting yourself and you're like, well, what if I get an inquiry from this person? But like, I want experience, so I don't want to disclude anybody. But really by focusing.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like you just said, really by focusing on that group, you're going to learn them so seriously and detailed about what they do and what they want and be able to serve them so much better because you spent the time and you have the experience on working with just them. And like you said, the people are already calling you, giving you feedback. Like, I like that you only work with this group. That makes me feel like you get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would just I would say that as encouragement, don't be scared to pick something and run with it,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
add in, other groups later too. Like that's totally fine. But you can say like, I am the photographer's VA, like the photographer's dream VA or whatever, like yeah. Like,
I was gonna piggyback off what Laura said, and also going towards the course on how to stand out. I know personally, I've never seen any virtual assistant who's geared just towards graphic designers and photographers. So I think too, like when you're thinking about who you want to serve, also think about like who isn't serving the community that you want to serve in a way that you can, that others cannot, because that's something that's definitely going to stand out. And think of like how many I'm sure you see so many photographers on Instagram. I mean, not only you two, Anna Laura, but you, Kelly, you probably see it in your feed, even I know girls in Philly bloggers who now want to be photographers, and even graphic designers who maybe don't know that they can make a business off of that and don't have to work within a corporate setting or such a structured setting. So I think it's really cool. I think it's a really small market, but not in a bad way, like a small market that like goes very deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's so much community there that it seems like to me, if I was in that field and I needed help managing my business as a graphic designer just starting out, I wouldn't want to go to just a general assistant. I would want someone who knows how to systematically manage. Like I'm sure there's graphic design terminology and software and camera lingo, and if you could start tailoring your content like just towards that, I think it would explode.
Yeah.
That is really good feedback. I definitely am going to consider that. And I mean, as silly as it is, okay, when you're by yourself, sort of, in a self-doubt little bubble, you're like, until somebody else does it, it's not like real.
Well, that's the beauty of having a community and of additional support is to like bounce ideas, and it kind of like bolsters your armor so that you like go into your work, mindset, and like you're doing your entrepreneur thing and you're like, I got this.
Yes, right, correct.
Yeah, like we talk every day, and if we didn't, I'm sure we would be like, what are we doing? Who are we doing?
I can only imagine.
Someone.
And also like, kudos to you for Alex for like doing full-time job and then also doing this. But I guess Anna Laura, you also do full-time job and then do this too. This is not the only thing you guys do, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I guess it's inspiring too to see that somebody who does work like a regimented full-time job does something on the side and you make it work.
Yeah, I think, and we've gotten a lot of questions from women about this in the past few months. And our big thing on balance is, like we always say, it doesn't exist. It's kind of like just deciding at that time what's going to be the most important thing for you. Like this month, maybe for Kelly, it's going to be niching down and developing new content for photographers and graphic designers. And you're not working late anymore because you need to come home to develop time towards this. Maybe you have to tell your husband, hey, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I can't tend to landlord issues because I need to be building up, Kelly Lesko virtual assistant business. So I think it really helps to have open lines of communication with your significant other. We've experienced the pitfalls of that, but also just figuring out, like, even if it's day by day and not going week by week, but just figuring out, like, for you that day, what's going to be most important. What does your work schedule look like? I'm not someone who, I know people say, like, find pockets of time during your work day, but for me, my pocket of time is served towards talking to Anna Laura, and that's it. And then I save the tasks that need to be done for when I come home from work. So, like, just getting used to your work schedule, what you have time to do during your work schedule, and how you find you work best. Like, maybe you are someone who could work within pockets of time and shoot out emails. Maybe you're someone who does research on your pockets of time and writes down a to-do list for later. But I think it's just figuring out what's going to be most important for you, and then what you want your life to look like in terms of having your virtual assistant business, managing properties with your husband, and then also this full-time job. Like, what does that life look like to you?
Right. So that's the thing too, is like the future, as far as like real future planning, I want to be, whether I have like a part-time job that's remote, my very serious goal is to just leave the 9-to-5 corporate world where I go to an office every day and replace that with entrepreneurship. But maybe that looks like I work a part-time job online, and then I do a virtual assistant stuff the other half of the day. And then, if that's not enough, I have a lot of experience in event management. And I know that there are freelance event management opportunities out there that I can volunteer for, like on nights and weekends. So a lot going on, but also on the other side of that, like in a personal way, I'm also planning for hopefully having a remote job, because we're family planning, and I do not want to get into the childcare world of other people taking care of my kids. So that's another like serious reason why I want to plan for this now, so that in the coming year or so, I will hopefully already have this like laid out, so that I can just add that next personal piece in. We'll see how that goes. So, and from that, I have recently been thinking, I've just been obviously recently feeling like super overwhelmed. And just like from a mindset standpoint, like held back by having to spend 40 hours a week at an office that I don't like. So I've been kind of throwing around the idea of getting a relationship with a business coach, or like a career transition coach. I haven't done too much research on that yet. But I actually wanted to just bring that up and see if either of you have ever spoken to anybody like that, and like what your experience is, or if you've actually like counseled anybody on going forward in that direction.
Yeah, I love that question.
Defer to Anna Laura, because she has done it.
Okay.
So it wasn't so much as like talking to or I didn't go out and hire someone specifically for that. Like, I have worked with other coaches in the past and everything, but I have I have done it. Like I was a speech therapist full time. Like I went to grad school, worked as a speech therapist for for a few years, and then realized like it's not my passion. Like I want to do something way more creative. And then I actually, before photography, I made a transition into my own online health and wellness business, and so I had, I've definitely been through the process of going from full time to part time to full-time entrepreneur. And so I can definitely offer like support there. Now I haven't formally walked anyone through that process. I'll, being transparent with you. And in terms of like a like coach or mentor mentee like relationship, but I have offered support to like friends and others considering that transition. And so I can tell you from a personal experience, like having those conversations early on with my husband, was a big thing, and making sure that we were on the same page. It's not like, honey, I quit my job,
And it's actually funny because I've been having those open lines of communication, and actually this past weekend, I made us sit down and I'm like, what can we afford? Like, because I need to get out of this job. So
Yes.
what can we afford?
Understand.
So, which is like, I mean, and Lars, I'm sure it seems, obviously from your success, you've experienced, first of all, it's extremely great to have a partner who's like, I get it, I got it, I'm here for that. But besides that, the response is, we're a team, and without you on the team having that income, it's going to hurt our winning score. Like, we're not going to make, like, we just need to be here. Yeah. So that's why I'm so focused on, what other strengths of mine that I can apply out in the world to part-time gigs that would kind of allow me a schedule that I could sit and pay more attention to building the VA business. While not, because to be totally honest, and it's absolutely a mindset thing, 100%. I feel like being in the environment that I'm in for 40, like day to day, 40 hours a week is causing me exhaustion, so that I just make excuses, or I just can't look at another piece of paper, like whatever it is. So I totally understand that this is going to take a lot of sacrifice, and that the sacrifice is going to be, trading in all the things that I have and that I normally do for a totally different, picture of where to go. So that being said, I just want to reiterate also that these guides were really, really fun to do. And I really liked that you guys incorporated videos and worksheets, like follow along. I definitely think like course creation is becoming a lot more popular, but I kind of feel like that personal touch with the video talk and guiding you that way is pretty rare. So I really liked the community piece there.
Oh, good. Thank you. Did you have any more questions for us? I know we had and we talked about, I think, a lot of what we were going to tell you anyway, but I know we had a little bit of feedback and stuff in general, just to help you even more. But if you had any other questions or anything else that we could answer for you.
To be honest, I was the only other like question blurb I was going to throw out is that I know you, and I don't know where you are with this, especially because both of you are in different cities now. But I know you do some like meetup events. And if you ever needed any help with any of that, definitely keep me in mind.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for offering.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times for events, we need like day of support, like check-in organization. because usually it's just the two of us running around crazy, and now it's just me running around crazy.
Host and then trying to like, oh, by the way, it's wild.
I understand what it's like on a team of like 4 people. By yourself, it's probably super overwhelming.
It's crazy. But thank you for offering. We'll definitely keep a note of that. And then, Anna-Laura, did you want to start with a little bit of the visual branding feedback stuff, since that's your wheelhouse?
So I know you noted in your Calendly sign up, like you wanted business branding and then potential coaching and also just business development. And it sounds like to me also like goal setting is something that's super important for you as well, which goes along with development, I know, but it's kind of like a whole nother thing. It's,
yeah, I completely agree. It's definitely more measurable. And for me, as I don't know if you've kind of waded through this before, and not in a bad way, but like just that accountability piece that you have from being by yourself is tough it's been tough for me to like maintain across. So I feel like a goal really set out and like stated it can definitely help with that.
Yeah, no, it definitely comes down to like, that intrinsic, extrinsic motivation. Like if you're intrinsically motivated to do something, like having those goals and then going a step further and having someone else holding you accountable too, whether that is the form of a coach or a community, like it's huge, especially when you're just starting out and you are transitioning like different hours. You said you're going from, was it 48-hour work week? Yeah. To either part-time or if you go and make the full plunge, into full-time entrepreneurship, like that's,
for sure.
Yeah. So really quick, I know we're kind of running low on time, but, a couple of things that I noted just from, IG and site quick little audit. We have to do this continually too. So I'm not like trying to like call you out or embarrass you or anything. It's just like going through and proofreading.
The reason I'm here.
Making sure that like words that, should be hyphenated or hyphenated, spelling, like I noted, under Canva on social media, flyers, it has 2 F's instead of an L. Just little things like that. And then also under Canva, like strut your stuff. And I know this goes along with the mindset thing too, is like, well, I'm not a professional graphic designer. Like, girl, just like own it. Like no one else needs to know that you're not a professional graphic designer. Like if you look like a pro, like own it and put it out to the world. Like, this is what I do. I'm a Canva master. Like just own that. You are a real graphic designer if you're designing graphics. And then for free call, like maybe get specific on what that entails. I know when you click on the button and you go to Calendly, it tells you, but put that on your site just to let people know like, hey, free discovery call. Click here. And then for Instagram, like we talked about, like how to conquer your to-do lists, give those tips and just really showcase those skills that you're offering, like how you add value to someone's life and day to day through your admin services and your social media services. Show them the heck off, like your copy, your graphics, like you show that you are the Canva queen. Let's see, show what you can help your clients with. I love the cleanness of your site. It was very easy to like navigate through. Love that. So carry that cleanness over to your Instagram too. Canva can, as you know, help with that. I'd love to learn how to learn about your pricing. Like, do I have to contact you, or is there like a button I can click to learn more? And then include your contact info on your site. So like you're in the footer, you can put like your social media links, like icons, and then also include an email address, like whether at the footer of your site or on your contact page. Like I know you have the contact page there, but it's just a good idea to go ahead and include like what your email address is.
Yeah.
So that was, again, like little dive, but quick run through.
That was fantastic. Just a quick question. I had pricing on my site for like a little bit. I changed it probably 5 times. And then I started feeling like, I wonder if this is a bad idea. Do you stay, like, as far as sticker shock, And then I was like, is it a bad business move to say services starting at this price?
That honestly, like most photographers probably do that. Like I'm probably one of the few that includes it like right on my site. And I'm just saying that because that's like an industry I'm familiar with. But no, I've seen a lot of VAs as well, like starting at blah, and then click here to learn about my packages, or click here to learn about bundles, or whatever you want to call them, and then you can email over a rate sheet.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna go back to that then. That's a good idea. That is all super, super helpful, and I really appreciate the feedback.
Awesome. I forgot I had one last thing to say that I didn't want to forget. One idea too, and like as you're building up your business, if you have friends, family, or coworkers who are kind of in line with your target market, just offering them like, hey, let me do XYZ for you. I'm trying to build up my business. Do you mind if I film it, take a photo, post about it? Can you write me a review? Things like that, just so, you have a little bit of leverage. People want to see what you have to offer and why they should hire you. So especially if you can kind of build up a resume that, now looks like you have a ton of clients, but you did because you helped all these people. They don't necessarily need to know they're all friends and family or coworkers or what have you. But, even reaching out to, searching targeted hashtags for like beginner photographers or like new graphic designer startups, things like that. You never know who you might find. And free in the beginning is like the best way to get your name out there and build leverage for your business. So,
and even through giveaways, like that's
giveaways.
Like one of our reasons for doing even this is just, again, the Academy's new. We knew we needed feedback and reviews. So what better than to give it to people who need it and get legit feedback. So then you can add that to your site and use it all throughout your social as well.
For sure. I mean, and this was like very, very helpful. I felt like having gone through a mentorship program before, honestly, I felt like this was just really specific, and that's what I was looking for. So thank you.
Thank you.